being a kid, you're not always aware what kind of habits you have and where they come from. Well, one of my habits I got from my parents, especially from my mom. I grew up at the farm, and with that farm we had a farmhouse, and in that farmhouse we had a living room and a kitchen, and of course some bedrooms, but we had we had at least a large living room, and that living room we never came only Sunday after church and when my parents had guests. And then we had a kitchen, and in the kitchen we had a long table with roughly 10 seats around it, and we had a place where my mom prepared food, and we had a stove, a wood burning stove, and that stove was mostly of the time burning. I remember me the smell. I remember me the, the, the kettles on top of it, always with hot water. We had always hot water on standing in the kettles on the stove. And this stove was using roughly 20 cubic meters of burning wood every year. When people were driving up the drive yard, they they saw it, couldn't miss, but huge shed with burning wood, roughly 120 cubic meter space for burning wood, and most of the time it was filled. We had two sections of 40 cubic meters, or let's say two sections, and contained 40 cubic meters of burning wood, dry burning wood, 4 years and older. And then we had 3 years old, a section of 20, 3 years old, a section of 20, 2 years old, another section of 20, 1 year old, and we had a new section where all the new wood would in, go in. When people driving up and they saw it, they always asked my dad, "Wow, what an immense of wood you have over here. Who's doing that?" And my father smiled and he said, "Well, my wife's doing that. That is my wife's business." Wow, how long does it take to get something done? Oh, my father said, roughly 15 minutes. What? 15 minutes? Oh, yeah, 15 minutes. 15 minutes a day. And this is how it works. Every morning at 8:05, just after the Weather Channel, my mom walked out and with a wheelbarrow and and a chainsaw and an axe, and she cut off the trees who were brought by the forestry every winter, truckload of fallen trees, went behind our farm, and there she chopped with the chainsaw the wheelbarrow full and walked back to the shed, and then she chopped it with an axe and placed everything neatly, and she walked in because 8:25 she had to be at home in the home again because to give my father his coffee and breakfast. And people were asking, how often is she doing that? Oh, my dad said, every day. Every day? Oh, yeah, every day. What does it mean every day? Well, 361 days a year. Not with Easter, not on White Sunday, not on Christmas morning, and also certainly not on her birthday. But for the rest of the year, every day she was doing that. That's how it works on the farm. And here it is. Here it is what I learned from my mom. To be consistent in everything what you're doing, to be consistent in everyday practices is helping me a tremendous lot to step forward and to make my moves.